So you can tell that I've never like sang formally. Like I just sang, like karaoke at
Yeah.
Alice's at 4 a.m. on Saturdays.
Uh-huh.
Um, because you were like, I'm gonna go get tea before we record to make my voice great because we're gonna be talking a
Yeah.
lot or whatever. You know what
Yeah.
I did? I went and made a fucking peanut butter chocolate milkshake and
Oh God, that is the worst thing you could have done.
it was delicious.
Hey girl.
Hi, friend. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. I'm feeling extra burpy right now. I don't know if it's the tea or if it's the gay mug that's like making me burp out the gayness or something, but I'm feeling pretty flatulent
It's
from my mouth.
like a new alternative to electroshock like conversion therapy.
Oh, hopefully this goes away. How are you? I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. School. That's it. That's literally all I do.
Yeah. Can I say one thing before we actually get started?
Sure.
I obviously like I spend a lot of time editing, but I also like I don't so much as listen to like the context of what we're saying when I'm editing, but once I publish it and it goes out to the world, I do re-listen to every episode.
Uh-huh.
And I kind of hated the way that I sounded in Matthew Shepard a little bit.
In what
I
way?
didn't like the way that I talked about, or maybe it was like the tone that I was using when we talked about his drug use,
Mm.
or I mean, it was mainly the drug use and also like some of. I feel like I came across as a little like victim blamey or victim bashing a
Mm.
little bit. So if anyone else felt that same way, I am extremely sorry. That in no way was my intention and was in no way like the tone behind the research that we did or that we collaborated on. I made it a point to say that we're not blaming him or faulting him in anything in the episode itself, but just listening back, like I just didn't like the way that I sounded. So that was a me thing.
Okay. Um, Growth. We
Yeah.
appreciate that. Um, I, unlike you, don't listen to our episodes as soon as they come out. I
Uh-huh.
like to wait and store a couple up and then I listen to them like later so that it's like they've
Yeah.
completely left my mind and I can listen as if it's somebody else's podcast. But I do
Hmm.
listen to them eventually. So
Hmm.
I did not listen to this one yet.
How
And
dare you?
cannot like confirm or deny your
Yeah. Yeah.
tone.
Yeah.
But
Well, that's just how I felt. But sorry, guys. I'm sorry, especially like if it was a personal case to anybody else. Like I don't know. You never know who's out there listening.
yeah.
But I definitely that was like not the tone or direction that I wanted for me to go in. But especially the show, if
Hmm.
anything. Um.
It's kind of ironic that you're saying that though, because I like texted you about how editing was going, and you were like,
Uh,
"Why do you think we need to re-record something?"
yeah.
And I was like, "No,
Yeah.
do you think we need to re-record something?" And you were like,
That's
"No,
right.
I thought maybe." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay, like whatever." Now it sounds like maybe we should have.
Oh fuck! I forgot all about that. Should we get into our question?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. So the today's question is, in our corner of like getting to know your hosts better. What was your favorite game as a child?
Okay, so my favorite game that like we invented ourselves was we used to play Whale and Dolphin Trainer because we were big SeaWorld kids.
Oh
Since I grew
no.
up like 45 minutes from SeaWorld,
Uh-huh.
which Blackfish gave SeaWorld a really bad name, but they actually do a lot of conservation work. Now that they
Okay.
don't steal whales or dolphins from the wild,
Uh-huh.
they have no blood on their hands anymore. But
Okay.
anymore. I acknowledge that they used to. But
Yeah.
so yeah, so when I was a kid, the trainers could still go into the tanks with the whales and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
so we all wanted to be fucking whale trainers when we were
Oh,
kids. Like
of
I wanted to
course.
stand on an orca's nose. That's all I wanted
Yeah.
out of life.
Yeah.
So we used to play that in the pool, and like one of us would like stand up at the edge and like do the hand motions, and then like the rest of us would go and
Oh,
like I played that with my cousins a lot.
that is so wholesome. I love
It
that.
was really cute. And then
That
my favorite like game that I bought from a store was
Mhm.
Uno. I was a really big Uno kid.
Ooh,
Uno
Uno's a good
Attack or
one.
like Uno Extreme where it like had the like machine and it like shot all the cards out at
Uh,
you. That shit was
those were
bomb.
so aggressive.
So aggressive, but so fun.
Those are fun.
I,
Uno is one game that always like the rules just are a little bit too much for me, so I can't really enjoy it. Um,
what
so
about
for
you?
me as a kid, have you ever heard of Chicken Limbo?
Yes, but I never played it.
Okay, so I don't know how it must have been through a commercial. But for 1 year for Christmas, I was begging my parents to get me a Chicken Limbo, and did not end up getting it for whatever fucking reason. Instead, I got a stupid, which I then it was stupid, but now I kind of wish like I had kept it because it was cool. But it was like a Rugrats piggy bank, but
Oh,
it was the dog. I think Spot or whatever the dog's name. It was a
yeah.
dog, and it had like two of the rug. I think it was Tommy and Chucky, like on the dog, and it like
Huh.
had it moved like side to side, like he was running like running down the road or something. So that was cool. But like in the home video, I was pissed off that I didn't get Chicken Limbo. So my
Yeah.
parents took me to the mall the next day, and we exchanged it, and I got Chicken Limbo.
Oh.
Um, and then as like the favorite game that I bought would probably be like Tony Hawk Pro Skater for like
Oh
the old
yeah.
PlayStation.
Yeah.
That's some
Oh
shit.
yeah.
That takes me. I would love to get an old PlayStation or just find that even online and play that again. But that was a good one.
I'm sure they like redid a lot of the games for the PS5 when it came out because like they totally redid Spyro, which was like our number one
Uh
PlayStation game. They totally redid the old Zelda game, like things like that. So
Zelda.
yeah, so I am like fairly certain that they redid Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2,
Crash, whatever his
Crash
last name is, and
Bandicoot.
then yeah, or oh fuck! The Spider-Man games. Like, oh my god, I was so big on Spider-Man as a kid. Yeah,
I don't think we had
Spider-Man
that one.
PlayStation games. Those that was a good one.
I could talk about PlayStation games forever, but we
Oh,
don't have time to do that.
we don't.
So,
Well, you guys, here we are, episode 12. It's so
well,
we're
case
climbing.
12. I
Oh,
think it's
case
like
12. I'm so bad with that.
I think it's like episode 16 maybe because
Mm-hmm.
of Casey
Kaylee.
Anthony. Kaylee Anthony was two like full
Mm-hmm.
episodes plus the law episode plus
Mm-hmm.
the
Peacock.
whatever, yeah, the documentary, quote
Uh-huh.
unquote. Um, so I don't know. More than 12 episodes, but case 12. This is
Case 12, yes.
the 12th topic that we've covered.
Yeah. Oh my god, that burp stunk.
Ew.
Fuck. Yeah, so here we are with case 12, Marsha P. Johnson. So, firstly, we would like to start off by discussing the use of gender pronouns and language in this episode. Marsha P. Johnson elected to use female pronouns for the vast majority of her life, and so we will use she, her pronouns for the entirety of the episode when referring to her. We may also use some language that is no longer the correct verbiage and might seem antiquated because we are quoting her or her friends using the language of the time. Marsha was often referred to as a drag queen and often referred to herself as such, but according to Professor of Human Gender and Sexuality Studies at the University of Arizona, Susan Stryker, today she would probably be considered gender nonconforming. Now, it's a tad complicated because although Marsha never identified as transgender, that terminology was not commonly used in her lifetime either, and the term transgender wasn't coined until 1971. Bizarrely, or maybe I just found this bizarre, the term trans wasn't coined until 1996,
It's just like the
which
shortened
is,
version, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, which is just so recent.
Yeah.
Like my Christian was born in 96. He's as
Yeah.
old as the it's so wild. And I was 2 years old. But anyways, so maybe today she would feel differently. Who knows? Also, the term transvestite is used a lot during these
Mm,
times, and in this case, just know that we're aware of the ever evolving language and preference of terms, and we are simply restating what we found in our research, and we will not be using what we now know were considered to be someone's dead name as well.
yeah. So I guess on that note, Marsha was born Malcolm Michaels Jr., and we're only saying that to give her full history, on August 24th, 1945, in Elizabeth, New Jersey, which literally touches Newark Airport. So it's super, super close to New York City. Her father, Malcolm Michaels Sr., was an assembly worker at General Motors, and her mother, Alberta Claiborne, was a housekeeper. The couple had 7 children, and Marsha was the fifth in that lineup. The family was very active in the Mount Teman African Methodist Episcopal Church. Say that 10 times fast. From a young age, Marsha was considered flamboyant. She loved wearing dresses as young as 5 years old, but after experiencing much harassment from the boys in her neighborhood, she stopped wearing dresses for a period of time. In addition to the bullying from her neighbors, it is reported that Alberta, her mother, said that homosexuality is like, quote, being lower than a dog, which is
God.
so fucking hard to hear from someone who is supposed to love you unconditionally. Like,
Yeah.
be nice to your fucking kids. God.
That hurts. At 13, Marcia was raped. She then described the idea of being gay as, quote, some sort of dream, rather than something that actually seemed possible, which was probably true for the majority of people in the late 1950s, even in the Northeast United States. Now, we're going to spend a lot more time in the next episode on the Stonewall riots or the Stonewall uprising, discussing exactly what it was like to be gay at this time, but just know that it was not fucking easy. After this horrifying experience, Marsha chose celibacy and to present as more masculine while she was at home in New Jersey. After graduating from Edison High School in 1963, she moved to New York City at 17 with $15 cash and a bag of clothes.
Oh my God.
I know. I don't know why, but my brain, every time I see the I think of bag of chips. I don't know why. So I had to be like very conscious just how to say clothes, which is so stupid. Once she arrived in New York City, she felt comfortable enough to resume living her life in her true form, including the clothes and makeup that she loved so much. Shortly after moving to the city, Marsha met Sylvia Rivera, who was an 11-year-old Puerto Rican trans woman. Marsha taught Sylvia everything she knew about makeup, living on the street, and looking out for trouble. Also, along with loving herself and embracing her identity, which is like, I don't want to go on a whole tangent about like kids discovering who they are or being exposed to like, I don't want to get into the politics of it all, but like it's got to be so difficult on the forming mind of an 11-year-old to like feel so different and like
Oh, yeah.
stuck in that body. Like I can't imagine what they go through.
I mean, I'm not a trans person.
Mm-hmm.
I am fully cis, but um I always felt very different. I was always, like very smart, very
Mm-hmm.
like interested in things that other people weren't interested in, like that. That alone was enough to make me feel like a fucking outcast for my entire life, let alone if like you
Sure.
didn't even understand your own body and your own like how you view
Mm-hmm.
yourself and the body dysmorphia and all of that stuff. Like, gosh, I can't. It's hard enough to be a kid when you kind of know who you are, let alone
Yeah.
when it's so confusing like that.
Right.
In 1966, Marcia moved to Greenwich Village, which is where my other best friend Taylor basically now lives. Hi, Taylor.
Hey.
I mentioned Amanda in the last episode, so I had to mention
We're
Taylor
going through
now.
the Rolodex.
Yeah. I have friends all over the country. It's fine. After moving there, Marsha began waiting tables. She initially went by the moniker Black Marsha, but eventually changed it to Marsha P. Johnson as we now know her. I'm assuming she got Marsha because it kind of sounds like Malcolm
Mm.
Michaels. Like
Mm-hmm.
it kind of sounds like her original given name, but
Mm-hmm.
apparently she got Johnson from the Howard Johnson's restaurant on 42nd Street. This was a restaurant in Times Square that is unfortunately no longer there. It was built in 1955 and was the oldest continually operated business facing directly on Times Square until it was sold for
Wow.
more than $100 million in 2005.
Fuck.
That is so
Could you
much money.
imagine?
No,
Could
just
you
like
imagine?
cashing a check for $100 million.
Shit. I'd be so
um,
terrified.
I don't even know what I would do with it. I mean, you would owe a lot of
Yeah.
taxes on it, so it's not like
Oh
you're just
yeah,
like
yeah,
sitting there with $100 million, which you should pay your fucking taxes.
yes, yes.
Um, So there were actually originally 3 Howard Johnson restaurants in Times Square for a time, which like overkill much. But it seems like this is the original and the one that also lasted the longest. For more than 30 years, the space above the restaurant was a strip club called the Gaiety, which is
I
kind of
love it.
ironic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which if you didn't know, Times Square used to be quite grimy and risque. There used to be a lot of like sex shows and strip clubs and stuff there. Apparently, they had a full bar in the Howard Johnson, and their specialties were fried clams and ice cream, which I couldn't find if that meant together
Uh,
or
I can't imagine.
separate.
Like I can see the poster now. Like or like the talk on the of like talk about the club. Like let's go get some look at some titties and get some fried clams. Like
Oh, no, no, no.
I
This was just at the Howard Johnson, not at the club.
oh
Can you
oh
imagine being in a strip club? Those strippers would be so sticky,
the
all that ice cream.
smell.
Ooh, yeah, and the smell
Why
of
did I
fried
think that was at the
clams.
bar? That's so
God,
funny.
no, the restaurant, the Howard Johnson, also had a full
Oh
bar, and their specialties were fried
oh
clams and ice
oh
cream.
shit! I like my narrative better.
No, we
Some
don't
titties and clams.
we don't care about the strip club that much. Like get your
Oh, that's
bag,
fucking
girl, but
funny.
like it's not that
Yes,
important to the story. Um,
titties and clams.
we need to make a shirt that says
Oh
that.
god.
Okay. People are gonna think that clams is like a euphemism for vagina, though.
Oh
That's
yeah.
disgusting.
Oh
I'm
god.
sorry if you listen to this with your kids. Don't do
It's open
that.
to interpretation.
Yeah. Okay. There's gonna be a lot of talk about like sex in those next 2 episodes, so please
Oh
don't listen to
yeah.
this with your kids. The Howard Johnson restaurant withstood a lot of changes in New York City and America in general, but always remained extremely popular until shortly before it closed. The building that this Times Square Howard Johnson housed was eventually torn down and became an American Eagle. Classic. There's also an episode of Mad Men, one of my favorite shows, where the Drapers eat at a Howard Johnson in upstate New York because the restaurant franchised and there were once thousands of them. So,
Wow.
fun New York trivia.
So to complete her name, Marsha Johnson added the P, which she would say stood for "Pay It No Mind." This is amazing. This attitude became synonymous with her identity, advocacy, and rise to fame. Marsha described herself as gay, a transvestite, and a drag queen. Now, her drag style wasn't serious, high drag, or show drag, but mostly only because she couldn't afford to buy clothes from the expensive stores that many drag queens frequented at the time. She was more thrifty than the average queen, which I fully fucking love. She would have done
Same.
great on RuPaul's Drag Race.
Mm-hmm.
And she also received many pieces of her outfits as gifts from friends or found them on the street. She was also known for wearing flower crowns made of fresh flowers that she found while sleeping under tables used for sorting flowers in Manhattan's flower district. Now, when I think of Marsha from the vantage point of someone who might not be all too familiar of her, I think of what I consider to be the most famous and well-known picture of her, where she's wearing what looks like to maybe a pink dress. She has on red lipstick. She's holding like a little cocktail glass. It kind of looks like it has water in it.
Mm-hmm.
But she's wearing a beautiful and full multicolored flower headpiece, and she has like the biggest smile on her face.
Yeah.
It's also probably like the most commonly used picture of her too, but I feel like that picture alone just like fully encapsulates her spirit.
Yeah.
But if you don't really know anything about her, then I can almost like guarantee that you've at least seen a picture or you're familiar with it. But that's a
Yeah.
picture that I love, 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 love whenever I see it.
And like not that this like matters, but I think a lot of people probably don't even realize that they're seeing a picture of her because when she was like
Mm.
fully done up, like you had no idea that she was born a man.
Yeah,
So she's extremely
100%.
passing, yeah.
Yes.
Which like is not it's neither here nor there. I
Yeah,
think it's like for people if they're not sure that they're familiar with her, you're probably gonna see
totally.
a picture and be like, oh, I just thought that was a like straight up cis woman.
Right.
So for much of her life, Marsha had a difficult time finding legal work and realized that her best option for fast money was to quote hustle, which today we would call sex work.
Mm-hmm.
At this time, sex work was very dangerous and stigmatized. Often, Marsha suffered abuse at the hands of her clients while alone with them in hotel rooms or their cars. Multiple times, Marsha had guns and weapons pulled on her, even being shot once in 1970.
Jesus.
Experiencing homelessness for most of her adult life, much of her rest was taken in hotel rooms, restaurants, and movie theaters, and wherever else she could get
God.
it.
I can't imagine being in that predicament. Like, I know I
Yeah.
wouldn't, I don't know, maybe like your fight or flight really kicks in, but like, fuck, man. Like, that's no way for anybody to live. Unless you're Trump, then he deserves to sleep in the slimiest places. But,
When we had the polar vortex here in
mm,
2018, I guess that, or 29, that was technically 2019. It was like February
hmm
2019.
yeah,
Um, we were talking at work after about all of the people that the job that I had at the time, I don't have that job anymore.
hmm
About all the people who died because of that, like all the homeless people that froze to death that night.
mm,
And I know it was so sad, but I was saying like even before this, like because that was like, I mean, that's the coldest most people have ever been in their life, but like
mm,
that was the first like really super cold time that it had been since I had moved to Chicago because I had only been here for less than 2 years before that. So that
hmm
was the first time it had been really cold. And like I lived in a cold place in Massachusetts, but where I was in Massachusetts, there were no homeless people because it was a college town with like 2,000
mm,
people. And
yeah,
so I had never really like had to put all of that sort of like together in a realistic way of like homeless people dying out in the cold like that.
yeah, hmm
And I was like, I feel like horrible. Like I can't even I
I know.
I can't even rationalize it. But I was also like, I have so much respect for these people because I could never do it. Like if somehow
No,
I ended up homeless, like my family just totally abandoned me and I didn't have a job anymore and all of that,
hmm
and I ended up homeless, I would just like roll over and die. Like there's no way that I could do
100%.
it. But one of my
No.
coworkers was like, I think you're pretty resourceful. Like you could do it. And I was like, I think that's a compliment, but like let's just hope
Yeah.
that we don't have to find out.
Next week, we'll be covering the Stonewall riot very extensively, but for today, just know that it was the ignition point of the gay rights movement. In the early hours of June 28, 1969, the police invaded a known safe space for gays, which wasn't at all uncommon to be owned and operated by mobsters, too, which is so weird. Like, why would I get why they would want to hide behind the gay community, but it's such a weird kind of thing to think about. I don't know.
I don't even necessarily think that they're like hiding behind the gays. I think it's just like a cycle of reciprocity that it's like who's more
Mm,
illegal right now, you know?
yeah,
Where
that's a
like
good point.
if you're if you're looking at the mob alone, they look like the absolute worst thing in the world, but if you're putting them
Mm-hmm.
next to at this time the other most illegal thing you can be, which is gay,
Mm-hmm.
then like it doesn't look that bad, right? So
God.
but it also kind of worked out good for the gays then too because they had some protection and they also like had that same level of, normalizing their
Yeah.
illegality, quote unquote. You can't
Yeah.
see my air quotes, listeners. So yeah, so they I think it was definitely a system of reciprocity.
Yeah. No, that's a very valid point. So this was common, but on the night at hand, the patrons of the bar decided that they were tired of being constantly invaded by the police and fought back. There have always been ties between Marsha P. Johnson and the Stonewall riots, so we're going to clear that up today. Marsha and Sylvia had arrived at 2 a.m. Now, the main rumor is that Marsha threw a shot glass at a mirror behind the bar, shattering it. And there's also another rumor that she climbed a lamppost and dropped a very heavy purse onto a cop car, shattering the windshield. Now, there was never any confirmation of either of these events. The only thing we know from Marsha herself was that by the time she and Sylvia showed up at Stonewall, quote, the place was already on fire and there was already a raid. The riots had already started. So she was there, but who knows to what extent she actually participated.
After the Stonewall riot, there was a huge uprising in LGBTQ plus activism. Marsha and Sylvia began attending rallies, sit-ins, and were big parts of the newly founded Gay Liberation Front, which came out of the Stonewall riots. Marsha was super excited about the work that she was doing, but she was frustrated with how, quote, white gay men and lesbians dominated the conversation.
Mm.
Which is kind of funny because the lesbians would say the same thing.
Yeah, right.
Um, the movement mainly focused on the white, middle class, and cisgendered, while the trans and people of color were actually doing the work. Marsha openly questioned where transgender people fit in, as they were more likely to experience homelessness and police brutality. And again, we're going to go into a ton of detail on this next week. Get ready for the longest
Mm-hmm.
episode ever.
Yes. In 1970, Sylvia came to Marsha with the idea of forming a home that would protect young trans people living on the streets, and thus STAR was born. STAR stood for Street Transvestite Activist Revolutionaries, and their first home was actually in the back of an abandoned truck in Greenwich Village.
Greenwich.
Uh, is
It's
it
Greenwich.
Greenwich?
Greenwich Village.
That's stupid as
I know.
shit. 24 kids crammed into the back of the truck, and every night Marsha and Sylvia hustled to make sure that their new family would have breakfast in the morning, which, oh my
I
god.
know, it's so cute.
One morning, Marsha and Sylvia returned to the truck to see it driving away, and the kids were jumping from it. Oh my
I
god,
just
again.
I just like
The little bodies.
yes. Just like
Yeah.
get out now.
now,
Like
now, I guess we should say, like, maybe some of them were technically kids, but since they were
yes.
forming a home, that's just I guess,
The
a phrase that
catch-all
they.
phrase, yeah.
Yes, yeah, yeah. But still, that's a very funny visual. Not funny, but no, it is funny. It is funny. Now, apparently, the truck obviously was not abandoned at all. So, after this experience, they decided to pursue a proper house and rented a dilapidated building without running water or electricity. They spent 8 months in that house, fixing it up the best that they could and always paying their rent until they were evicted. So even though Star wasn't what it had once been, and it still had a profound impact on the community.
Um for the first Gay Pride March, which began on the first anniversary of the Stonewall Uprising, June 28th, 1970, the organizers tried to ban Star and its members from participating. Fucking assholes. But
Yes.
Marsha and Sylvia showed up anyway. You go, bitch. They wanted to show that transgender and gender nonconforming people deserved equal rights too, because they do. In
Yes.
Greenwich Village, Marsha was referred to as, quote, Saint Marsha, and was admired for her ability to truly be herself. She was incredibly selfless, giving people clothes and food even when she barely had anything for herself. In an interview for a book released in 1972, Marsha said that her ambition was to, quote, see gay people liberated and free to have equal rights that other people have in America. Reach, Marsha girl. She also, quote, wanted to see her gay brothers and sisters out of jail and on the streets again. Because, reminder, you could be arrested just for being gay at this time.
So fucked.
In another interview, she said, quote, as long as gay people don't have their rights all across America, there's no reason for celebration, which is why we call Pride marches, not parades.
Yes.
And in 2023, we're going back to that because guess what? Everybody wants to take our rights away.
It's
Fuck
disgusting. It
you.
is so disgusting. I can't believe we're in this.
Yeah.
At the 1973 Gay Pride rally in New York City, there was a huge uproar from the crowd when Sylvia tried to speak to them. Now, to help paint a picture, there was a stage with, again, a very large crowd surrounding it. There's two talking heads addressing the crowd in the very beginning, a man and a woman, and I'm just assuming their identity because, I mean, I don't know. I'm also assuming. I'm assuming also that they're leaders of the event or whatever. It doesn't matter because I would like to slap the shit out of both of them for the things that they said.
Yeah, we're assuming their
So,
gender because we don't like them.
yes, yes. Now the woman says, quote, all right, it's up to the gay people. What do you want to do? And the crowd just starts shouting, and you have no idea what they're shouting. Now, what she says really pisses me off right away because I feel like she's actively choosing not to include any of the trans people attending. So I think she's just actively like shutting out Sylvia, like from the get. Now this just obviously like furthers Marsha's point of the frustration that the lesbians were dominating the conversation. And I'm also going to assume that this woman was a lesbian only because of stereotypes, and she looked like a lesbian fucking Girl Scout. So to me, it's pretty fucking clear.
Like Ellen DeGeneres.
Oh God, don't even get me started on her. So some guy comes up and takes the mic and says, quote, "Listen, we don't know what you want. Now, do you want these people to speak? These people. These people." Again, it's an uproar of a response. So he asked the crowd, quote, "Will the people that want it say yes?" And the majority vote wins, and he lets Sylvia speak. Like, had it not like been some sort of democracy, like she wouldn't have gotten the fucking chance.
Yeah, who put you in charge, my dude? Fuck off.
Exactly. Who the fuck do you think you are? So we're actually gonna play some audio from Sylvia's speech that she gives at this rally. It's kind of hard to hear at some points, but if you would like to kind of follow along, we're also gonna have a link to a transcript that we found online in the show notes. But just listen to the kind of the hurt in her voice, I think is the most poignant thing about what she's saying. But she also is like it kind of breaks my heart in the way that they're just
Mm-hmm.
booing her and everything. So the speech that Sylvia gives is kind of long. I'll say some key points of it, but we'll also have a link to a video to where you can actually watch her. But we'll also have a link to the transcript as well because audio is kind of hard to hear a little bit. But the first thing she says is "Hi, baby," which hi, I love it. Hi,
I
baby.
know.
Like it was just she felt like those were her. I mean, they are her people. Like she's part of
Yeah.
that community, you know.
And
And
she's trying to
immediately the
like,
naysayers. Uh,
sorry, I was gonna say, and she's trying to
it's
be like
okay.
positive, like, and this,
Yes.
very contentious, and very like tense moment.
Yes. Yeah. And immediately the naysayers and the crowd start booing her. And I think this is what really
Boo
starts
you.
like exactly. Boo you, audience. But this is what I think like really pisses her off. And I think the first time I saw this, I was like, wow, this woman's really drunk. Like years ago when I first saw this. But like seeing it now, like more mature, I feel like she's just fucking pissed. It's
Yeah.
gotta be hot as fuck. It looks like she's
Oh
wearing
yeah.
like a Christmas like long john sleeper. Like she looks hot and it makes me
Yeah.
itchy. Like, ugh. But she goes on to say, quote, "Now I'm gonna like my recite of this is in no way going to carry the same sort of tone or like anger that she was emoting.
Yeah.
Um, but she goes on to say, quote, "Y'all better quiet down. I've been trying to get up here all day for your gay brothers and your gay sisters in jail who write me every motherfucking week and ask for your help, and you all don't do a goddamn thing for them. Have you ever been beaten up and raped in jail? Now think about it. They've been beaten up and raped after they've had to spend much of their money in jail to get their self home and to try to get their sex changes. The women have tried to fight for their sex changes or to become women of the women's liberation, and they write star, not to the women's groups. They don't write to men. They write to star because we're trying to do something for them." Now, she just goes on to kind of recount her own experiences in jail, how she's been beaten, she's had her nose broken, she's been harassed. Um, but towards the tail end of it, she says, quote, "What the fuck's wrong with y'all? Think about that. I do not believe in a revolution, but you all do. I believe in the gay power. I believe in us getting our rights, or else I would not be out there fighting for our rights. That's all I wanted to say to you people. If you all want to know about the people in jail, and do not forget about Bambi Lamore and Dora Marks, Kenny Messner, and the other gay people in jail, come and see the people at the Star House on 12th Street on 640 East 12th Street between B and C apartment 14." And then she kind of goes into like a gay power chant, which people do get into and kind of, rally with her. But like, it breaks my heart to see how anti letting her speak the community was.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's super fucked up. But in the 70s, Marsha performed with the drag theater group Hot Peaches. Hot Peaches was founded by Jimmy Camisilla in 1972, who encountered a group of drag queens and began writing for them to perform. Their work has been described as political camp dominated by drag. Andy Warhol was a frequent supporter of Hot Peaches, and he noticed Marsha and the pair officially met in 1975, which is a huge fucking deal, especially considering like how famous Andy was by this point.
Oh
Like I
yeah.
can't imagine meeting a fucking star like Andy Warhol.
And for like a extremely famous artist to come up and probably say something along the lines of, I really enjoy your art or your work,
Yes.
right? Like
Yeah.
Andy Warhol is one of the most famous artists of all time. And
Mm-hmm.
he did things that nobody else had done up to that point. And he
Right.
was just like, wow, you're really great at what you do. I'd be like,
Oh, I know. Good for her.
yeah,
So Andy photographed her for his Ladies and Gentlemen series, which we will post a picture on Instagram for you to see. And when the screen print went on display in a Greenwich Village store, Marsha took some friends to see it, which I'm sure she was just so fucking excited and giddy about.
I know.
But when they tried to enter, the store owner called her riffraff and threw her out.
Bitch, you're riffraff for calling someone that. I can't stand pretentious art people like that. Like,
Oh my god.
again, I've probably said this already like 10 times this episode. Who do you think you are? Get off.
Exactly. Exactly. Pay it no fucking mind.
Girl.
Entering the 90s, Marsha had practically become a household name in connection with the gay rights movement. And along with that, she was arrested over 100 times.
That's
And after being
insane.
surrounded, I know, I can't imagine. And after being surrounded by and hanging out with the quote street hustlers, Marsha said, quote, my life has been built around sex and gay liberation, being a drag queen and sex work. And in an interview in 1992, she said, quote, I was no one, nobody from Nowheresville until I became a drag queen, end quote. Oh,
I
I
know.
love drag queens.
Me too. And Marsha, you were somebody before you became a drag queen.
Yes,
Fuck the
yes,
haters.
yes. Fuck your mom, too.
That's not supposed to be funny because like her mom said homophobic things, but that's just
Yeah.
like, like that's like such like the frat boy like middle school like thing to say is like, why don't you go fuck your mom? Like,
Yeah. I stand by it. Oh god.
In 1990, Marsha was diagnosed with AIDS, unfortunately. She spoke publicly
Mm-mm.
about it and on June 26, 1992, said that people should not be afraid of those with the disease. Just a few days later, on July 6, 1992, Marsha's body was found floating in the Hudson River. She was 46 years old. Immediately after being found, the police classified her death as a suicide. Oh, that doesn't
Mm.
sound like the NYPD at all. But everyone who knew her vehemently disagreed with the ruling. While Marsha did struggle with mental illness, she never expressed suicidal thoughts to those around her. Her death came just a few days after the Gay Pride March in New York, and it's said that a large piece of the back of her head was missing. She's
Oh
like,
my
oh my God.
god.
And I'm not saying that like that couldn't have happened if she did, you know, take her own
Die by
life, but
suicide. Yeah.
that looks violent. Her friends and family believe that she was the victim of a violent attack, likely a hate crime, which I
Mm-hmm.
agree with. Um,
Yes.
According to the New York Anti-Violence Project, 1992 was also the worst year on record for anti-LGBTQ plus violence.
That
So,
irritates me to no fucking end.
yeah.
Like it's so I love statistics and I love looking at, record information and shit, but like it breaks my heart to know that a group of people got together to form the New York Anti-Violence Project, which is great. I'm glad it
Mm-hmm.
exists, but that we have to like measure something like this because it was just so fucking bad.
Well, and it's like we have to measure stuff like this because there are people who just like flat out refuse to believe stuff like this. Like
Yeah, true.
we're seeing that so much today that, but that's the problem with like fucking QAnoners is that they don't even believe the
Mm,
statistics. They think they're all made up and
right.
whatever. But yeah, like even like we have to say these statistics and things because there are people who are like, oh, like Black people and trans people aren't in jeopardy of their lives. Like they're actually not
Mm-hmm.
more likely to die than white people. And like actually if you think about
Mm-hmm.
it, there's more white people dying every day. Well, yeah, because there's more white people, bitch.
Right,
That's
right,
how
right.
proportions work. I'm a math teacher. Do I need to teach you some math? All the statistics that we have taken over the years, which like it's gotten a lot easier for us to do the statistics in turn, like it doesn't take
Mm-hmm.
as many people to find each of these
Sure.
statistics. But still, like, fucking hell, just people listen. Like, we're not.
Mm-hmm.
What I love about these people that love to like deny these statistics and like say that, oh, black people aren't in jeopardy or whatever. What is the benefit of saying that black people are in danger? Like, there
Yeah.
is no. That's not a positive thing. I know there
Right.
are some fucking weirdos out there right now who like it's trendy to be mentally ill and it's cool to be
Mm.
like gender non-conforming and whatever. Like no,
Yeah.
those are things that people feel because or are without their control when it comes to race
Mm-hmm.
and like sexuality and things like that. Like nobody picks to be gay. Nobody
Right.
picks
Right.
to be trans because it does make your life harder and
Mm-hmm.
you like are literally in more danger. Why would
You, I
somebody
know you,
pick that?
I know we just texted about this a couple days ago, but you still haven't watched Happy Shiny People yet, have you?
No, but you're the somebody else just recommended it to me. Who was it?
It's 10 out of 10. It's so good. But it's about the Duggar family, and I think it's in the third or fourth episode. We meet like some influencers that are from the same church or like followed the same like cult teachings that the Duggars are promoting or some shit like that. But
Um
it's
their
they're
their doctrine is
but
called Quiverful. That's what
no,
yeah. It's oh well
no.
maybe we'll do an episode on Quiverful one day.
Yeah, okay.
It's kind of cult.
But but these influencers can't like they've got to be around our age, if not like early to mid 30s. They look young as fuck, but they are pushing the agenda. One of them, I wanted to throat punch the bitch through the TV. She was her and her big fucking teeth just made me so goddamn mad. And I love big teeth, but she just was fucking ugly with them. She was making fun of people choosing she says that these people choose to be gay. These people
Oh my
choose to
god.
go in through the transition, or they just want the attention, and you don't choose to go by certain pronouns or like those. None of that shit exists. Like it's all fake as hell. And then she went on to say like, our platform is kind of us like parodying, whatever,
Parroting, I think.
parodying the old like televangelists. And I was like, yeah, that could be funny, but like the shit that you're saying is like so out of fucking pocket. But like it blows
Yeah.
my fucking mind that like people, and I said this to Christian on the couch because like it was pissing me off. And I was like, I can't believe that people of our generations are falling into this bullshit and
I
that they
know.
believe this fucking bullshit. Like it is so weird. So, like, and
Um
I get that like conservative towns like exist. I get that, and like that mindset is already ingrained in all those people. Like I come from one of those small
mhm.
country fucking towns, and I hate going back there every single time. But like it's just it blows my mind that people of our age have those mindsets.
I know. Well, I think it's funny that she claims that they're parroting old televangelists because it sounds like you're just
Mm-hmm.
being them. Like you're saying the
Yes,
same
yeah,
things.
right.
And also, yeah, I mean like the rise of like white supremacy right now is
Mm.
a perfect example of that. That like
Mm-hmm.
online indoctrination is very, very real because
Jesus.
there's so many people who are like don't come from fucking white supremacist families and then like all of a sudden
Yeah.
like they probably came from conservative families. I'm not saying that like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, a kid who was raised by someone like me is ever gonna wind up a white supremacist, but although I don't
Yeah.
know, Kanye's mom was a Black Panther and he wears White Lives
Oh
Matter shirts,
yeah.
so um
That motherfucker.
but but yeah, like these people are going from like, I guess like a quote unquote regular conservative, like a Mitt Romney
Oh
Republican,
yeah. Yeah.
to these fucking white supremacists standing outside of drag shows with AK 47s. Like
Mm.
it's, there's, this online indoctrination thing is very serious, and like what I think people on the far right that are bitching about Target indoctrinating our kids or whatever
Oh
for
my
Pride
god.
are
Uh-huh.
missing is that it goes fucking both ways. Like, you're indoctrinating people just as much, if not more, than the left is indoctrinating people,
Yes.
because what we're indoctrinating people with is love and peace and
Right. Right.
equality and
I
socialism.
I I am so happy to live in a state like Illinois, and especially like a city like Chicago, because of how progressive. And yeah, I mean, of course we've got our fucking shit bags and shit stains out there.
Oh yeah.
But I love that, and people give so much shit to Pritzker and everything. Like, I get it. It's not our platform. That's not what we're here for. But like, I love that Illinois just became the first state to block banning books in libraries.
Yep.
I'm glad we've taken the milestone. But like, I have a lot of my family, like both of our families, mine and Christian's families, are in the state of Texas, and like we're both fucking terrified for like our nieces and nephews down there. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's so fucking like, I we just had my mom's one of my mom's sisters. They just moved out of Florida because of how fucking bad it was getting.
Yep.
So now they live in New Jersey. Like, this shit is so scary.
Yeah. Oh, to I guess to lighten this up a little bit,
Please.
wait till next week. I fucking jerk Illinois off so hard during the Stonewall episode. I blow so much smoke up Illinois' ass.
Oh god, I love it.
Massachusetts too, my two loves. But I don't care what anybody says about Pritzker. That man has been attending pro choice rallies since long before he was voted governor. So,
Yeah, yeah. Now, a funeral was held at a local church for Marsha, followed by a march down 7th Avenue, and hundreds of people showed up for the funeral. It was so crowded that people stood on the street when they couldn't fit into the church, very much like Matthew Shepard.
mm-hmm.
After the funeral, Marsha's ashes were scattered into the Hudson River, and the police shut down 7th Avenue to allow the march and scattering of her ashes to be safer. Which, wow, like, where the fuck were they when,
She was being
like,
murdered.
all the times? Yeah. Oh. From 7th Avenue, many who attended the funeral marched to the police precinct to demand justice for Marsha. Eventually, many witnesses came forward saying that they saw Marsha being harassed by a group of thugs who were even known to mug people. A witness even stated that he saw a local resident fighting with Marsha on July 4th. This resident used, or that resident used homophobic slurs, and later more witnesses placed the man at a bar bragging that he killed a drag queen named Marsha. But when the witnesses tried to tell the police his story, he was obviously fucking ignored.
Yeah. Which, like, I know there are false confessions or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, like people who love to take credit for murders that they didn't commit, but I don't know.
Right.
It's at least worth investigating. Police.
At least.
Eventually, in December 2002, more than 10 years after her death, Marsha's manner of death was changed from suicide to undetermined. Sounds like
Mm.
Natalie Wood.
Oh, yeah.
A new investigation was finally pursued. A New York politician named Tom Duane, which I wonder if he has anything to do with Duane Reade. Do you know what that is? No, you haven't been to New York. There are no Walgreens in the city of New York.
Uh-huh.
They're all a like fancy version of Walgreens, and they're owned by Walgreens, but they're called Duane
Huh.
Reade, spelled like this Duane.
Weird. I worked for Walgreens, and I feel like I didn't know that.
It's because
And I worked for corporate Walgreens.
they only exist in the city. I
Weird.
know. There's CVS in
Huh.
New York, but there's no Walgreens.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
What the fuck is that about?
I don't know.
Weird.
Yeah. At least in Manhattan. I admittedly have never
Hmm.
spent anytime anywhere else in Manhattan or in New York
Uh-huh.
City in
New
any
York.
of the other boroughs,
Hmm.
except for I went to, I guess, Queens. But I like went to the Met Stadium and immediately left. Same with the Bronx, because I went to the Yankee Stadium and then immediately left. I didn't like hang out in the Bronx or Queens. Anyway,
Have you seen the video of J-Lo walking through the Bronx And she's like, when she's super famous, I think
Mm-hmm.
this was like maybe within the last 2 years, and she walks past her childhood home.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, I don't know if this guy, the current resident, was already outside, or he just saw her and with a camera and he came outside to be like, what the fuck are you doing? But
Mm-hmm.
she was like, I used to live there. And he was like, okay, basically, like, who the fuck are you? He's like, and she said, Jennifer Lopez. And he said, I don't know who that is.
Oh my God.
It is the funniest fucking thing.
How do you not know who J Lo is, first of all?
He was definitely like older, but I could have sworn he was Mexican
Are you living
too. I mean,
under a rock?
she's Puerto Rican,
Yeah,
but
she's Puerto
still,
Rican.
to like call her out and be like, I don't know who that is. It was very Mariah Carey.
But at least Mariah
uh,
Carey deserves it. J Lo's nice.
yeah, yeah. Oh shit.
um, so a New York politician named Tom Dwayne, no, I don't know, relation of Dwayne Reed, fought to reopen the case because he said, quote, usually when there is a death by suicide, the person leaves a note. She didn't leave a note. In 2016, Victoria Cruz of the Anti-Violence Project tried time and time again to get the case reopened, and while she was not successful, she at least did manage to get previously unreleased documents and witness statements. The struggles of Victoria were documented in the 2017 Netflix documentary, The Life and Death of Marsha P. Johnson, which, if you haven't seen that documentary, go watch it. I haven't watched it in a
It's
long
fucking
time,
fantastic.
but it's good.
In 2019, the city of New York announced that Marsha and Sylvia would be the subjects of a monument commissioned by the public arts campaign She Built New York City, which is the first monument in New York to honor transgender women. And in 2020, a waterfront park in Brooklyn was named after Marsha. Her case remains unsolved today, even though we probably know what happened. But we would like to end this episode on the most famous Marsha P. Johnson quote, as it's still very relevant in 2023. Quote, darling, I want my gay rights now. I think it's about time the gay brothers and sisters got their rights, especially the woman. And that was the miraculous
Mm.
case of Marsha P. Johnson. Do you maybe
Yeah.
want to talk about like our theories of what we think happened? I don't really have theories, but I think like I'll no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I agree with, um, her friends and family who have been very vocal about it. That like probably there were these thugs who like saw her
Mm-hmm.
and were like, "Fuck a tranny" or whatever they were thinking because they're
Yeah,
assholes, and then like
right.
went and beat her up, and then um threw her into the river because there's constantly dead bodies in the Hudson River. If you didn't know.
Yes. That's so scary. Well, it's shit now in Lake Michigan too, but
I was gonna
fucking
say
hell.
there constantly are in the Chicago River too. We can't throw too much
Yes.
shade.
But yeah, I think I'm definitely of the same opinion too. I don't how we can try to describe or explain away the massive hole that they said was in the back of her head. I don't know. I don't think anyone said anything about her having been shot. But I feel like this was loosely touched on in the Netflix documentary as to what they thought might have happened to her. But I think she was probably like very, very brutally attacked for them to say that there was such a significant size shaped hole in her
Yeah.
head. It's fucking hell. Like that takes some anger.
Yeah, because like I feel like if that hole was caused by a self-inflicted gun wound, then it would have been
Mm-hmm.
super obvious that it was a self-inflicted gun wound. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it seemed like it was caused by something else. Maybe like she was hit with a blunt object back there that it just kind of like chunked
Mm-hmm.
off the back of her head or whatever. I know, which is a horrible thing to
God.
think about. But
Uh-huh.
like I just don't think, and like if she had been unconscious, like if she, I don't know, maybe like threw herself off of or whatever, like I
Mm.
don't know where she would have thrown herself off of to make herself like un like to like hit her head on like a cement piling or something
Sure.
that
Yeah.
made that big of a hole. Like she would have to have hit her. She would have to launch herself off of a extremely tall point, and like I don't know where she would
Yeah.
have had access to that.
Right.
There's
Because
not
in
like
the
really tall
Netflix thing,
bridges or anything.
right, and it doesn't even look like it's a drop, but it doesn't look like it's got a high altitude to it either. It seems like
No.
something you could very easily and probably comfortably like dive off of if you really wanted to.
Yeah, exactly. Like it might slap hurt when you hit the water, but I don't think it's gonna
Yeah.
rip the back of your head off.
Shit. Or I don't know. This is something that obviously we'll never ever know. I don't think anyone's ever gonna come forward about it either. I mean, they obviously won in this instance, which is so fucking disgusting. But like, this just reminds me too so much of like the murder from the documentary Paris is Burning. Like, it's just like,
Mm-hmm.
how did this fucking skeleton end up in the
Yeah.
closet of a trans woman? You know, it's just
Mm-hmm.
wild fucking times to be alive in New York City.
Obviously, her having her ashes
Mm,
spread into the Hudson River and everything was like
yeah.
very like significant and special for especially for her friends and family, but like
Mm-hmm.
for her to like I don't know, they could have done a better autopsy maybe if they hadn't
Yeah.
cremated her. I don't know.
Right. I think that's entirely on like the city itself, just trying to get rid of as much as they can as quickly as possible too. Like, I don't think friends or
Oh,
family really had a say in that at all.
for sure. I have a friend who died. It's been 6 months now since she died, and we still don't have her
Mm,
autopsy results yet.
fuck.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Um, and you said they won as in like the homophobes that killed her,
Mm,
whatever.
hmm.
I think Marsha won because she has a fucking park named after her on Manhattan, and those
Yeah,
fuckers are
yeah,
probably drunk in a nursing home somewhere, rotting away
that's very
with
true.
no teeth.
Yeah, I can find solace in that.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, thanks for joining us for Case 12, Marsha P. Johnson. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying this little Pride saga series.
I already have 2 cases for next year.
Yay! Oh, fuck yeah! I love
Yeah.
it. Hopefully, we don't ever have to experience something like this ever again. Um, but I don't. That doesn't sound all too promising with the current state of the world
Okay,
or
listen.
conditions.
This episode is ending on a total fucking bummer, but I promise Stonewall next week ends on a huge high note of me literally jacking off the state of Illinois and Massachusetts. So get ready.
Oh, I
Um,
can't wait. I can't wait.
yeah. So I guess we'll end on that.
Mhm.
We'll put a poll up again. Thanks for everyone
Yes.
who's already answered our poll for Matthew Shepard. If you haven't already,
Yeah.
please do. And if you're listening to this like after the fact, we are going to make all of our polls for the time being active for 365 days. So you have until Pride next year to answer
Yeah.
these polls. So it doesn't matter when you're listening to this, as long as it's before June, whatever, of, I can't remember what day this comes out, of 2024. So please go answer our
Yeah.
poll. We love hearing from you guys. And
Also, can we just say hi to like our future selves? Like, hi, future Brooke. Like, I wonder where we're gonna be in a year.
aw. Well, I'll have a master's, that's for sure. That's one thing I know.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, other than that, I don't know.
Well, thank you guys for joining us. Like Brooke said, do the poll, follow us on social media, Your Next Pod on Instagram. Case suggestions, send it to yournextpod@gmail.com. Rate, review, subscribe. I think that's all.
Beware. You're next.
Bye.
Bye.